Some games are about the numbers. Others, they're about something bigger. They're about legacy. They're about bad blood. About a history so rich, it drips off the hardwood like sweat in a double overtime thriller. And tonight, we get another war, Ohio State versus Michigan. Michigan comes in riding high, fresh off a gutsy 75-73 win over Purdue. They shot 44.6% from the field, decent but not dazzling, and struggled from deep, hitting just 7 of 23 from 3. But where they truly shine? Rebounding. 33 boards, 12 of them offensive, extra possessions, extra opportunities. Extra heartbreak for their opponents. Danny Wolf was a monster last game, logging 37 minutes, 15 points, 9 rebounds. And a couple of dimes. This Wolverine squad isn't flashy, but they're relentless, averaging 81.4 points per game while dishing out 405 assists on the season. Making them one of the best passing teams in the nation. But turnovers, that's the devil on their shoulder. They cough it up 14.5 times per contest, an Achilles heel that could be exploited if Ohio State plays their cards right. And speaking of the Buckeyes, they didn't just win their last game. They demolished Washington, 93-69. Shot an outrageous 58.2% from the field, 61.1% from 3. That's video game numbers. And John Mobley Jr., this kid was lights out. Dropped 21 on a blistering 7 for 9 shooting night. The Buckeyes average 79.8 points per game and shoot 47.7%. Ranking them among the best in efficiency. But here's the problem. They foul. A lot, committing nearly 20 fouls per game. They're practically handing out free points. And guess what? Michigan lives at the line. Defense tells the story. And the Buckeyes are respectable but not elite. They hold opponents to 41.3% shooting and defend the 3 well at 29.2%. But they allow 71.6 points per game, meaning Michigan should have plenty of scoring opportunities. So, what's the play? A Michigan squad that crashes the boards, moves the ball, and grinds teams down. Or an Ohio State team that just torched Washington and might be peaking at the right time. And today's AI pick is Michigan plus 2.5. The Buckeyes are riding high, but Michigan's resilience on the glass and ability to draw fouls should keep them within striking distance. If not outright win it. Buckle up, folks, this one's gonna be a war.
They say there's no such thing as a battle of the owls, only survival of the fittest. And tonight, under the lights of Liacouras Center, it's Florida Atlantic versus Temple, two teams fighting to stay afloat in the jungle of college basketball. But survival? It ain't just about talent. It's about execution. It's about endurance. And it's about knowing when to strike. Florida Atlantic walks in with swagger after an 87-75 win over Charlotte, fueled by a blistering 54.2% shooting night. They rained in 12 threes on 48% shooting from deep, got to the line, and barely missed, 84.6% on free throws. Efficient. Lethal. Dangerous. Caleb Glenn was a problem, dropping 18 points on 6 of 8 shooting, and this FAU squad is 33rd in the nation in scoring. Putting up 81.3 points per game. But what's the problem with high-flying offenses? They get reckless. Florida Atlantic turns the ball over 11.5 times per game and commits 17.6 fouls per contest. And their defense? Let's just say it ain't exactly Fort Knox. They allow 76 points per game, ranking them 300th in the nation in scoring defense. They surrender 38.2% from 3 and let opponents shoot 43.2% from the field. You let teams hang around, and bad things happen. Now, Temple, they've had a rough one. 80-74 loss to Tulsa last time out. Shot just 42.4% from the field and only 5 of 17 from 3, a miserable 29.4% clip. That's not gonna cut it. But here's the thing, they got to the line 24 times and converted 79.2%. They're gritty. They fight for extra possessions, and they rebound well, 37.2 per game. Jamal Mashburn Jr., he's their dog. 19 points, 6 assists, 34 minutes last game. Even though he struggled at 6 of 20 shooting, the volume tells you one thing, they trust him to take over when it matters. But let's talk about the real deciding factor here, pace. Florida Atlantic loves to run. They want to push the tempo. Spread the floor, and turn this into a track meet. But Temple? They want to grind. They want to slow it down, play tough defense, and muck it up. And here's where the numbers don't lie. Temple gives up 78.5 ppg, FAU allows 76. That should scream, take the over, right? Wrong. Because what this game is really about is tempo control. If Temple dictates the speed, FAU's offense is out of rhythm. And today's AI pick is Temple plus 2.5 and the under 158.5. Why? Because Temple thrives on making games ugly. They'll force FAU into tough shots, slow the pace, and turn this into a defensive battle. Florida Atlantic won't be raining 12 threes this time. Temple covers. The under cashes. And in the end, only one set of Owls will be left standing. Buckle up. Because this one's gonna be a grind.
There's a difference between being down and being out. And tonight, the Detroit Titans have a chance to remind the world that pride doesn't show up in the win-loss column. They're heading into enemy territory against the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, a team with a chip on their shoulder, but here's the real question: is 13.5 points too much? Detroit, sitting at 8-18, is coming off a 8-7 7-2 loss to Youngstown State. The score might tell one story, but dig deeper, and you'll see a team that battled. They shot 47.4% from the field, grabbed 33 rebounds, 12 of them offensive, and made 15 of 19 free throws. That's effort. That's hustle. Orlando Lovejoy was a bright spot, dropping 24 points on 10 of 20 shooting in a full 40-minute effort. This isn't a team that rolls over. They may not be elite, but they compete. Offensively, they're not explosive, averaging just 6 to 5.9 ppg on 40.5% shooting, but what keeps them in games? Their rebounding and ability to draw fouls. They hit 7 to 4.2% from the line, and when you're a double-digit underdog, those free points matter. Defensively, they allow 7 to 3.8 ppg. And while they struggle against the three, giving up 31.9% from deep, they limit second chances and force 11.2 turnovers per game. Now, let's talk about Oakland. They just handled IU Indiana 6-7, shooting 54.7% from the field and 44.4% from three. They dominated the glass with 36 rebounds, and Nassim Mashar put up 18 points on a 60% shooting. But here's the reality: Oakland is inconsistent. They're just 11-15 on the year, and when their shots aren't falling, they struggle to create offense. They average 6 to 7.5 ppg, which isn't exactly a scoring machine. Defensively, they're respectable, allowing 6 to 9.9 ppg, but they only force 10.8 turnovers per game. They don't speed teams up, and if they get complacent, Detroit can hang around. The books are giving Detroit 13.5 points. That's a lot for an Oakland team that only scores 6 to 7.5 per game. You're telling me Detroit, a team that grabs more rebounds, hits more free throws, and has a go-to scorer in Lovejoy, can't keep this one inside the number? And today's AI pick is Detroit 13.5. They don't have to win. They just have to battle. And if they play with effort, attack the boards, and get to the free throw line, they cover. So don't count them out just yet. This one's going to be closer than the experts think.
Some games feel like a toss-up. This one, it's a statement game. The Maryland Terrapins, standing at 19-6, are out to prove that they aren't just a good team, they're a dominant one. And on the other side, the Iowa Hawkeyes, who've been running and gunning their way to wins, but might just be stepping into a buzzsaw. Iowa's 8-4 7-3 win over Rutgers looked impressive on paper. They shot 50.7% from the field, nailed 10 threes, and converted 90% from the stripe. Josh Dix put on a show, dropping 26 points on 11 of 17 shooting. Offensively, they're a machine, 11th in the nation and scoring at 84.5 ppg. But here's the problem. For all their firepower, they leak points like a broken dam. 78.6 ppg allowed, ranked 335th in the nation. 4 to 7.5% opponent field goal percentage, bottom tier defense. 37.4 rebounds allowed per game, they struggle against size. And if you're struggling on the glass, Maryland is the last team you want to see. The Terrapins, winners of 4 straight. Their last game, a surgical 8-3 7-5 win over Nebraska. Shot a blistering 58.5% from the field, 4 to 6.7% from 3, and 7 to 7.8% from the line. Efficiency on another level. Derek Queen, an absolute monster. 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 of 11 shooting. When this team is clicking, they are nearly unstoppable. Defensively, Maryland isn't just solid, the elite, allowing just 6 to 6.8 PPG, ranked 49th in the nation. Holding teams to 41.7% shooting, 7 to 9th in the country. Forcing 14.4 turnovers per game, disruption at its finest. Iowa wants to run. They want a fast-paced, shootout-style game where they can outscore opponents. But Maryland, they control the pace, they defend the perimeter, and they own the paint. The books are giving Iowa 11.5 points. But let's be real, if Maryland dictates tempo, this isn't going to be close. And today's AI pick is Maryland 11.5. The Terrapins' balance, efficiency, and defensive edge should overwhelm an Iowa squad that simply can't stop anybody. Expect Maryland to take control early, hammer the glass, and cruise to a double-digit win. So, if you're rolling with the Hawkeyes tonight, you better have faith in miracles.
And just like that, we've reached the final showdown of today's college basketball betting slate. 5 games, 5 matchups. And now, the last one, Louisville versus Notre Dame. Louisville is sitting at 19-6, fresh off a dominant 91-66 win over NC State. They were lights out, hitting 63.6% from the field, 11-0 from deep, and 90.9% from the line. Rain Smith, 21 points on 58.3% shooting. This team has depth, efficiency, and momentum. Offensively, they average 79.7 PPG, rebound well, and rank 55th in scoring nationwide. But here's the catch. They only shoot 32.8% from deep, and they allow opponents to shoot 34.5% from 3. Against a scrappy Notre Dame team that can get hot, that's dangerous. Now, Notre Dame, they're 11-13 but just pulled off a thriller, 97-94 over Boston College. Marcus Burton, an absolute machine, 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists over 46 minutes. If the Irish are covering tonight, it's on his shoulders. They put up 73.8 PPG, shoot 45.9% from the field, and hit 73.8% from the line. Their defense, not elite, allowing 70.7 PPG, but they defend the 3 well at 31.7%. That matters against a Louisville team that thrives on shooting. Here's the deal. Louisville is better. No argument there. They've got momentum, size, and balance. But 6.5 points is a lot. Notre Dame just fought for their lives in OT, they're at home, and they have the best player on the floor in Marcus Burton. And today's AI pick is Notre Dame plus 6.5. The Irish won't quit. They'll battle, hit big shots, and keep this close. Louisville might sneak out a win, but Notre Dame covers. Full recap of today's picks. Checkmark Michigan versus Ohio State, right pointing arrow Michigan plus 2.5. Wolverines grind out a cover in a rivalry battle. Checkmark Florida Atlantic versus Temple, right pointing arrow Temple plus 2.5 and amp. Under 158.5. Temple controls tempo, keeps it low scoring. Checkmark Detroit versus Oakland, right pointing arrow Detroit plus 13.5. Too many points for an Oakland team that struggles to separate. Checkmark Iowa versus Maryland, right pointing arrow Maryland minus 11.5. Maryland's defense locks down the Hawkeyes. Checkmark Louisville versus Notre Dame, right pointing arrow Notre Dame plus 6.5. Burton leads the charge for an Irish cover. There it is, 5 games, 5 bets, all AI powered. If you're loving these data-driven picks, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More winners, more breakdowns, and more ways to stay ahead of the sportsbooks. Now let's cash these tickets. See you next time.